Now, I just want to spend a minute talking about Borosil's performance. We'll have the management with us. Actually, we probably do have the management joining in now. The company's come out with a weak first quarter. It's not just a weak first quarter. It's that weakness that we saw in FY23 that's persisted in Q1 of FY24. Margins have witnessed a sharp dip. The capacity expansion program for the company is also sort of kind of hanging in the balance. And Chinese dumping is a big hurting point. Pradeep Kheruka, Group Chairman at Borosil Renewables, is joining in. Mr. Kheruka, thanks for joining in. This is turning out to be a big problem, it seems, because, you came off at the end of a very weak overall FY23, and even now it seems there's a lot of pressure on prices because of this China factor. Tell us, how much has it impacted? The margins have come down quite dramatically. How much is the pressure on selling prices? And I'm sure at an industry level, there's petitioning happening for some sort of a safeguard duty against this dumping. Is there any progress? Any updates there?
Well, we haven't got any feedback from the government. We've been petitioning the government to impose some kind of a duty. At the moment, imports of glass from China are completely duty-free, which is quite an aberration. On the one side, they have imposed a 40% basic customs duty on imports of solar panels, and there is nil on the imports of glass. There is a 25% import duty on the imports of solar cells. So this has been done by the government primarily to give a level playing field to the domestic industry. But somewhere glass slipped between the cracks, it seems, and the anti-dumping duty, which we did have in place, went out in August 2022. That was not renewed, even though Ministry of Commerce had given a very strong recommendation, including doubling of the anti-dumping duty. Somehow the Ministry of Finance did not agree to do that. And we were expecting that in the budget this year, they would be reinstating the basic customs duty of 15%, which is very much in the books. But that's been exempted by virtue of a circular issued in 1999, when India was not manufacturing any kind of component for the manufacture of solar modules. And that remains in the statute books. And it has been mentioned that it is there till the end of February 2024. So that's what it is, but we have to see.
So what's the price difference between the glass produced by you and the imports from China? What's the current price differential?
Well, at the moment, we are selling pretty much with a 2 or 3% higher price than the imported price. That obviously doesn't give us much margins. So I must say that with all of this, because of our very aggressive cost of production, we have a very efficient operation. We were still able to hit a 23% EBITDA. But now clearly there is an issue of there are interest and depreciation, which has to be factored in because we've doubled our capacity, we've more than doubled our capacity. So that interest and depreciation comes in. So we remain. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. No, I'm just saying.
No scope of a duty. Yeah.
Yeah. There is no.
I'm saying that any anti-dumping duty is not going to come into force at least till February of next year, right? Which basically means Q2, Q3, Q4 is going to be weak for you. You are going to be suffering from the same problems that besieged you in the quarters gone by. So what can you guide in terms of margins for the next 3 quarters?
See, I just want to make a distinction between different types of duty. There is a basic customs duty, which is applicable on imports into India from any country of the world. All right, that's a basic customs duty. Now, what the government has initiated for the solar module and solar cell business is a basic customs duty of 40% and 25% respectively. What we are doing is there is a basic customs duty of 15% on imports of solar glass. We are petitioning the government to instate that or reinstate that, in the sense to remove the exemption from payment of that duty. So that is one thing. The question of an anti-dumping duty is something that we're going to take up shortly, and that might give us a little additional on top of the basic customs duty. But that is something we have to do, and that could easily take for a year or so. So what we are looking at for the end of February is the reinstatement of the basic customs duty, which it has done in the case of solar cells and solar modules. So we are reasonably...
No, so get your point, Mr. Kheruka. I think you are petitioning, and sometimes these safeguard duties come in, well before the budget. So let's see how that goes. But let's talk about the things you can control. I mean, the duties you can't control. Let's talk about what lies ahead. I believe that you're going slow on your capex plan as well because of this uncertainty. Just if you could spell that out for us, would you be putting any fresh money to work at all? I think there's some capex in Germany which is still on track, but are you putting your India capex on hold? There was a new plant that you were considering.
Of 1,100 tons per day would be having an outlay of easily 1,400 crores. Now that's a lot of money. We have extended ourselves quite significantly already by increasing our manufacturing from 180 tons per day to 1,000 tons a day in India, plus an additional 350 tons a day in Germany. So really, as a company, we've grown from 180 tons to 1,350 tons, and by the grace of God, we have been able to get the production. We've been selling the glass. We're continuing to export as much as 28 to 30% of our production even today, despite the fact that we have much higher capacity. So we have very good traction in markets internationally and in India. And so therefore, at least the one very strong positive for us is that we remain able to sell what we are producing. The question is the price. Now, where we can squeeze margins is, we can improve on margins is by improvement in our production output. And also, there are certain new products like 2mm glass, which is becoming more and more the standard for lots of modules worldwide. So the price of 2mm per ton, little bit better than the prices of the regular 3.2mm glass. So
this,
that would, yeah.
So just to clarify, so this SG4 ramp up that was planned, is it still on track? Are you delaying it? What's happening to this particular, capex?
You see, we are waiting and watching because we need to see the government's action in terms of the duty. I need to point out that in addition to the 1,000 tons that we have come up with, there's another 1,000 tons which has been announced and which has been activated by other manufacturers in India, of which I think about 400 tons is already in production. Another 600 tons is going to be in production within this month. So the anti-dumping duty which the government had announced in 2017 initiated a flurry of expansion. And we got this. But all further expansion is currently stalled, I would say. And that's because the non-extension of anti-dumping duty, non-implementation of basic customs duty has hit the manufacturing confidence quite severely. And so therefore, we are just waiting. Maybe in another year or so, maybe 9 months, maybe 6 months, depending on how we see the market panning out, we could take it up because everything is ready, frankly speaking. We're all set to go ahead with the next 1,100 tons. We are waiting for the right moment, I would say. That's all.
Mr. Kheruka, we leave the conversation there for now. By the way, there is a very large block taking place on CMS Info. More than 21% equities changed hands and the stock has slumped close to about 8%, 8.3% right now. This is a very, very large block, 3.2 crore shares with the total size of 1,163 crore. Get into a break.